moving swiftly on. Palestine Action say they broke into a military supplier in Kent because of its connections to Israel.
Get this, a video posted on social media shows so-called actionists in orange jumpsuits breaking machinery and throwing stock to the ground. Now, 7 people have been arrested.
Well, joining us now is the senior advisor at the counter-extremism project, Acheson. Ian, thank you very much indeed for joining us. Ian, help us understand how someone goes from joining a march, for example, and holding up a placard, to deciding to venture into criminal activity like this, criminal damage of private property.
Well, I think in order to understand what's happening here, we need to look at where this has emerged from. And this is part of a broader strategy, which is a couple of decades old, the boycott, divestment and sanctioning strategy known as BDS, which has been carried out by Palestinian activists to draw attention to what they see as the oppression of Palestinians in Israel, the occupied territories in Gaza. So this is specifically, I think, about disinvestment. In other words, this is intimidatory action, criminal action, clearly, but it's designed to get investors in this company to run scared and to disinvest in companies that these activists say are complicit in the war effort, which is taking place after the atrocity that was committed in Israel on the 7th of October. So I think what's happening here is a cultural thing as well. It's a feature, I think, of a spreading impunity to action that we've seen over the past weeks and months, especially in relation to the actions that are taking place on the streets, where it feels like there's more and more space for criminal impunity, particularly, I think, from people who are drunk on righteousness, to coin a phrase. They believe that the means they're using are justified by the ends, and therefore they can do more and more and more to prosecute their cause. Now, I think that's very dangerous, because that never stops with the actions that we've seen. And just bear in mind the actions that we've seen in relation to what the police have charged a lot of these activists with, which is aggravated burglary, carries a sentence of between 1 and 13 years in prison. So these people who believe the righteousness of their cause allows them to do effectively, anything that they want, are facing the destruction of their futures. I mean, of course, that depends on the actions the courts have taken, and I think the courts, to be frank, are complicit in some of this impunity as well.
Goodness me. Because
although it is very different in terms of all the action that's happened here, you only have to look back a couple of weeks where a knife man outside a kosher supermarket wasn't even given a jail sentence for a disgusting
Ian Acheson, I'm afraid we're running to the end of the segment here, but thank you so much for joining us. Really appreciate your time.